What's going on, guys? Bengal King here, coming back at you with another video, and today we're rebuilding the Arizona Cardinals. Now, as I spitfire through that intro, we have done a realistic rebuild of the Cardinals before months ago at the start of the year in August or September. It's December now. It's been a long time. The Cardinals have played pretty well this year. Not amazing, but pretty well. Definitely taking a step up with the addition of guys like DeAndre Hopkins. And we did a realistic style of them. This time, it's not going to be hyper-realistic. I will be trading older players. I will be trading cap casualties. Players are cap casualties, but I will be trading bigger cap hits if their overall skill isn't there. So you will see some crazier trades, some draft pick, whatever. Should be a fun one. So if you're into the more fantasy style, that's this video. If you like the realistic, check out the one earlier in the year. You might like that. Everything is in the rebuild playlist. But yeah, Cardinals, let's talk about the roster. It's a pretty good one. Some great young stars. Budda Baker, one of the best safeties in the league. Chandler Jones, top edge in the league. Probably top 5 to 10. DeAndre Hopkins, best receiver in the league, in my opinion. Davante Adams is a stud. Michael Thomas, stud. Julio Jones, stud. Keenan Allen. So many great receivers. Stephon Diggs. You can name so many amazing receivers, but DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, is the best. He's just on another level. So I appreciate you guys subscribing. It's completely free and helps me out a lot. The support in December has been crazy. But let's go ahead, take a look at the team. A lot of things to talk about, as there's a lot of potential with this team. DJ Humphries is an interesting player because he's only 26 years old, but he's playing on a massive, massive contract. Gets up to $19.9 million in 2021. So I don't love that contract, but Humphries is definitely a starting caliber player for us. Probably someone we're going to keep for the duration. I like Lamont Gaillard. He's a good player at Georgia. He got drafted way too late. And Cardinals got themselves a good player. I think he's going to develop pretty nicely. Justin Pugh's in here. J.R. Sweezy. Don't love their contracts. Marcus Gilbert's old. Don't love that contract. Actually, the contract doesn't matter for him because it's not too long. But he's 32 years old. He's not going to be here next season. Yeah, final year of his deal. I didn't mean to talk about his contract. Just the fact that he needs to be replaced. Max Williams, got Dan Arnold, the best D Arnold in the league, best Darnold, we'll just call him, for sure, by a mile. Tight end's a position that needs to get upgraded. Kenyon Drake's out here. He's solid. Like Chase Edmonds, decent backup. I like Eno Benjamin a lot. I think he could end up being a starting running back for sure at some point in the future. Kyler Murray's played very, very well this year. His mobility and agility and elusiveness have really been on full display this year. And the arm is coming along as well as he's becoming more consistent, more accurate. And I think having an actual legit weapon in DeAndre Hopkins has certainly helped that out a lot. Nuke is a monster. There's no way around it. With the receivers, we talk about him being the best in the league. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Shout out to Harry Styles. But there are so many great receivers. It is tough to pick one. I think Hopkins, for me, if you saw my receiver ranking list, he is just at the top there. He's so good. Also, if Larry Fitz, the best Cardinal probably of all time. I think it's tough to argue against that. Really, really talented player for a long time, but he's also 37. And he's probably going to retire, at least in the game at the end of this year. But should I trade him? I know Cardinals fans would riot, but his contract's bad. He might have some value. I'll probably just keep him here, though. Christian Kirk is going to play over him. Andy Isabella, I think, has a lot of value in the slot. Keyshawn Johnson, not to be confused with Keyshawn Johnson. And then defensively, it's an interesting defense. Isaiah Simmons, I finally don't have to trade for him because we actually have him. And he's going to play middle linebacker. In real life, probably not a middle linebacker. Like him as an overhang defender, someone that's going to play almost slot corner, like weak side linebacker type hybrid box safety role. Love that for him. However, he hasn't really been put in that position yet this year so much. He's getting into it more recently, but he just was someone that didn't play a lot of snaps, and that's so devastating because he has so much potential, and you got to get him out on the field. You need to give him that experience, or else he's not going to develop the way that you want him to. So I do have Isaiah Simmons. I will develop him. He'll probably end up being one of the better middle linebackers in the league, at least in Madden. Chandler Jones, solid edge rusher. The problem with him is he's 30 years old and will start regressing, but very, very good player. Jordan Hicks, I like a lot. Hook'em Horns, Devondre Campbell's in here. Probably going to look to move him to outside linebacker to boost his overall a little bit and then trade him. What's his contract like? Probably has 2 more years if I had to guess. I know he's a new addition. Maybe it's even 3. Only one. He signed a 1-year deal? No way. He signed a 1-year deal. That's wild to me. Well, I'm probably just going to trade him now then. Devondre Campbell only goes up to a 76. I'm just going to move him back to middle linebacker and trade him that way. I think more teams probably need a middle linebacker than an outside linebacker, especially considering that he won't fit a lot of schemes if they're 3-4 oriented. Hassan Reddick is someone we need to talk about. They picked up Marcus Golden, but Hassan Reddick basically was bust status before this year. Back on the edge, he's played very, very well. Of course, I know this as a Giants fan because he had 5 sacks against the Giants. That boosted his total into double digits. Had a sack today as I record this. But this is a guy who is so good at Temple in kind of like more of an edge than an overall hybrid role, but especially coming off the edge. Very versatile guy. And they tried to use him in the NFL like a versatile guy. Really wasn't very good. But back as a more traditional true edge, just going after the QB almost every snap. Not every snap, but a lot of snaps. Has been very, very good. Not amazing, but very good. You know, hats off to Hassan Reddick for just playing really well this year. Marcus Golden's okay. This is a very interesting one because I don't know if I would rather prefer Deontay Thompson or Jalen Thompson. He's only 22 years old. He does have 90 speed. I don't know why I thought he was going to be a little bit slower than that. Deontay Thompson has 87 speed. So athletically, I mean, I guess he's just better. I guess Jalen Thompson's going to be my free safety. Jonathan Joseph is 50 years old. Patrick Peterson just isn't good anymore. He's 30, and I hate to say it, he's been great for the Cardinals his entire career. This year has just taken a noticeable step back. Final year of his deal, I am going to trade Patrick Peterson. It's just going to happen. The Cardinals are always so terrible in simulation. I'm not going to change their playbook this first year. And the offense is going to be so bad. And then we're going to get probably one of the best picks in the draft. Byron Murphy, I like a lot. I feel like he's more of a nickel corner. Dre Kirkpatrick is not great. Jonathan Joseph is old. Robert Alford's not great. Jordan Phillips is okay. Angelo Blackson's not very good. Corey Peters is okay. Zach Allen, I like a lot. Would love to develop him. Rashard Lawrence in here. Damata Pecco. There's a lot of potential. It's just about developing these guys. Budda Baker, we talked about him, one of the best safeties in the league. Extremely versatile guy. Also another guy who's really, really good in the nickel, in the slot. Really good player in those situations where he's playing there. He's only 24 years old. I thought he was 26. He is only 24 years old in his 4th year. That is crazy. He should be unreal for us this rebuild. But let's make some trades. Let's get some picks. Let's get some better players if we can. It's tough to trade straight up for players. But I'll tell you right now, Patrick Peterson and his contract has to go. Marcus Golden probably has to go. And Devondre Campbell has to go as well. Patrick Peterson, Marcus Golden, headed to Cincinnati. We get a first-round pick in return. It was a trade that had to happen. Like, of course, Patrick Peterson has been awesome in his career for the Cardinals, but it's just time for him to go. I could trade Larry Fitz. It almost feels like sacrilegious to do so. I just need to get some of these older players out of here. Marcus Gilbert, J.R. Sweezy, Corey Peters gets a first from Detroit as well. It's just like the older players on the team are going to hold back the team as a whole. Damata Pecco is fine just because, like, he's not really going to be here for a long time. Chandler Jones is fine. Jordan Hicks, he's 28, probably done developing. We have Devon Kennard. Robert Alford's contract needs to go. But, like, who else do I trade? It probably has to be Jordan Hicks at some point. I'll keep him for this season. I'll try to move Alford and Devondre Campbell. Maybe somebody else. All right, Alford, Devondre Campbell, Devon Kennard to the Jets. We get a first round as well. So a lot of picks so far, but we're going to use that to help better the team as a whole. Got rid of some really, really bad contracts. And that doesn't mean that, like, we're going to move anybody else or we're not going to move anybody else. Hassan Reddick's a weird one. I think I'll probably end up extending him for sure. So I guess maybe it isn't that weird. Dre Kirkpatrick, Jonathan Joseph, they're just not going to have a lot of value. Kylie Fitz, no. I don't know. I think we're probably good to simulate. I will try and turn those picks into players maybe. Maybe we trade somebody else, get a first, and then try to get like a huge player. Who would be really good for this team? We have edge in Chandler Jones, and we're going to say Hassan Reddick. We could use another really good pass rusher on the defensive line. It is a 3-4, but it doesn't need to be a 3-4 defensive end playing 3-4 defensive end in simulation. So we can just get a true edge. Brian Burns obviously stands out in my mind if you've seen the videos before. They need a right outside linebacker, as apparently do we, but we just traded Devon Kennard. The Panthers have interest in all three players, Max Williams, Deontay Thompson, and Jordan Hicks. If I could trade those guys to get Brian Burns, which I won't be able to, I would be over the moon. So let's take Deontay Thompson out and add in a second-round pick. I'm going to have to add a first for sure to make it go through. What about a top 10 pick? It's not going to go through, period. Even if I add in number 6, it's not going to go. That didn't really even move at all. It usually does, but it didn't this time. Jeremy Chin is not going to be acquirable. If I make a move for Brian Burns, it'll have to be next year. Okay, super crazy trade. I told you this one might get a little ridiculous. It already has. But Dre Kirkpatrick, Jordan Hicks, and a second-round pick are headed to the Giants for stud, young running back, Saquon Barkley. I'm a pretty big fan of him myself. I don't know if you guys could tell. But this is going to make this offense so dynamic because if you look maybe 3 years out in this rebuild and you talk about having the best running back in the NFL in Saquon Barkley at this point, Kyler Murray could be the best quarterback in the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins, like, we're looking pretty good on the offensive side of the ball. Clearly, I don't want anything to be misconstrued because people are not going to hear me and just hear whatever they want. I'm not saying Saquon's the best running back in the NFL right now. He's not. Murray, obviously not. But in the future, in this particular Madden rebuild, certainly could be the case. This is how we're going to set up the team. Looks pretty good. I don't think we're going to be super great this first year. The offensive line clearly got a little bit worse with the loss of J.R. Sweezy. And, well, Kelvin Beacham's only 2 overall less than Marcus Gilbert. But, like, I mean, honestly, it didn't really get all that much worse. We're going to simulate to the midseason mark, see how we're doing. 3-4 at the midseason mark, as here's Kenyon Drake. Not going to be re-signed, probably, because he's just going to be too expensive. He actually isn't. Jeez. I think I have to sign and trade him, and he's back. And even if we don't trade him, he'll be a good backup. We have a lot of money. Hassan Reddick, I already talked about. He needs a contract extension. Has played well in real life, and is also a 25-year-old, near 80 overall player in the game. Yeah, his development rate isn't great at normal. Would love to boost that up, and it is possible that we can do that. The rest I'm not really too worried about. Larry Fitzgerald is not going to get re-signed because he's going to retire, so I'm not going to give him a contract just for him to retire. Doesn't really matter, but let's be honest. Is he going to be in my future plans at the receiver position or on this team? No, you can't game plan around a 37-year-old. Just can't happen. Did not make the playoffs. Again, the Cardinals playbook is so bad. Even with this great offense, went 8-8 because the offense was probably super bad. 12th. Actually, that's not too bad. I mean, Murray was not great individually, and their defense was terrible. But 3,800 yards, 31 TDs, 13 interceptions. Rushing, Saquon, 1,200 yards, 12 TDs. He was great. Receiving, DeAndre Hopkins, almost 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, only 60 catches. Max Williams had more catches than DeAndre Hopkins. Larry Fitzgerald had more catches than DeAndre Hopkins. Jeez, 13 TDs for him, though. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 114 tackles, 6 for loss, half a sack, and a pick. Tackles for loss, 19 from Chandler Jones, also had 7 sacks, which led the team. 5.5 for Zach Allen, 4.5 Jordan Phillips, 3.5 for Hassan Reddick. And then interceptions. This is not Patrick Peterson, but it's Kevin Peterson. Terrible player, but had 4 interceptions. Chris Banjo out there. Banjo made a really big play in real life today, as Deshaun Watson wins MVP. Where is no Kyler Murray? NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Drew Brees. No Murray. Defensive Player of the Year is Aaron Donald. A lot of bucks in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Cam Akers. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is Chase Young. Isaiah Simmons at 4. Imagine Chase Young was quite good. Super excited for the offseason, though. I know this team is just around the corner from a great overall, a great record, a lot of success. So it's hard not to get excited about that, as Larry Fitz is not retired yet. He's down to a 72 overall. You know what, Larry? You're going to test free agency. There's no way I just offered you a contract to be polite, and you declined. There you have it. Probably for the best. 37 mil. Will Fuller's here. That would be a great addition to our track team with a lot of speed. Marcus Williams would be an interesting addition. I think I'm just going to keep Jalen Thompson for right now. Buda Baker's still superstar development. There's not really a lot I'm going to want here. So I think it's probably just best to wait for the next season. Hassan Reddick goes up to star. Isaiah Simmons had superstar, I'm pretty sure. We do need a kicker and a punter. Not Austin McGinnis. Ooh, DeAndre Hopkins. That's got to be what that stands for. Joey Sly is probably going to be my best bet. Although Younghoe Koo. Nah, let's get Will Lutz. I know I just went back and forth on like 8 players, but not 8, whatever. I'm stupid. NFL draft time. We pick at number 2 overall and number 3. The Giants hold the number 1 overall pick. And I'm sure they're going to screw this up somehow. Junior Strickland. That has to be my guy. He looks unbelievable. Has to be the guy. Clearly don't need a quarterback, but seem to be some decent players here. But we're fine. I'm not going to be tempted. Donovan Mitchell. 4th rounder with 1st round ability. Like that. 2 early 1st round centers. Looks like our offensive line is going to get a big boost this year. Giants at number 1. Go Junior Strickland. Come on, man. Not the first time that a Fresno State player has gone number 1 overall, but this one hurts the most. I mean, that was the player I wanted the most by a lot, and now I'm just going to trade down. No point in reaching when there are players I want farther down the board. That's a super frustrating pick. Trading number 2 overall to move back to number 4. Swapping 3rd round picks, but ours is next year, so I guess not really. And then trading a 7th round pick for a 1st round pick, essentially, is what that trade amounts to. I explained it in the worst possible way, in case you were curious. That is what happened. You did hear me correctly. And the Jags took Casey Thompson, who was a 77 overall. Casey Tompkins is. He didn't look that good. So that's a bit of a surprise to me. But I'm not really willing to take anyone. I don't even know until, like, I don't love the options. I really don't. Trading number 3 overall and number 17 overall, as well as a 3rd rounder this year, number 77, to move back to 7, getting number 21 and a 1st rounder next year from Miami. We're doing a lot of board navigation, but I think it's worth it. I mean, clearly you see us missing out on good players. There's Sean Wade, not to be confused, of course, with Sean Wade. But we're at number 4. I'm still not really wanting to pick here, just because, like, there are good players. I have to pay a player more if they're taking it at this range than later down the board. Jeff Cheeks looks pretty good. He doesn't look like Cheeks. I'm sure we could clap Cheeks if we drafted him. It would be a good pick, early 1st rounder. We clap for him. But do I really want him? He's a good player. I mean, we probably should take him. You know what, fine. We'll take Jeff Cheeks at 4. 76 overall, number 6 in the class. Took him at number 4. Normal development, but does have ridiculous attributes. 90 strength, 76 block shot, which is quite good. 82 power moves, 76 finesse moves, 75 speed, 79 tackle, 76 pursuit. Really, really good player. Kind of shocked he's only a 76 overall, even though that is, like, quite good. But that is, I mean, he looks amazing. Looks like one of the better D tackles I've probably ever seen. And can I trade back from 7? I want Jose Bright, but I don't want him at this pick. And he only ran 4.58. I've seen linebackers run a whole lot faster. I don't have to take this pick. They can't make me. Trading number 7 overall, number 141, to get a 1st rounder next year from the Vikings and move back to 70 in this class. So I'd rather have a 1st rounder next year from the Vikings and take this pick at 7. And then we're moving up from a 5th to a 3rd. I think that's worth it. To me it is, just based on everything that is included. Bright goes the pick before. He ran 4.58. The more I thought about it, the more I wasn't in on that. I think Amari Hughes or Mark O'Donnell might be a good call here. Early first round for Amari Hughes. Doesn't have a, I mean, his face is weird because he has his, like, the Hall of Fame bust already. Doesn't have any, shoulders or arms. Probably going to be tough for him to cover somebody. But I guess that's why he's playing a corner rather than receiver with no hands. So he could be the move. Let's take him. Seems to be pretty good. 75 overall, normal dev, number 9 in the class. Took him at 13. Can't zone cover at all. But man coverage is pretty good at 74. 93 speed, nice hit power at 69. And then we pick back-to-back at number 14. What is the move here? Don't pick again until 21. I think this is a spot where we go back-to-back centers. Could go tight end, but we're going to go center. Rick Larson, number 7 in the class, took him at 14. Only normal development, but is very, very good, very well-rounded. Not the strongest, only 85 strength, so he probably will stick at center. And the other center that we take is probably going to move over to guard. I think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe even tackle, depending on how good he is. But Walter Henson out of Wisconsin, quite strong. Not that fast, but I think he's going to be very good for us. 76 overall, number 5 in the class. We took him at 21. Once again, quite good. Strength is way higher. Speed isn't great, but he'll probably make a better guard. Now in the 3rd round, 2 players left on my draft board. That's perfect because I have 2 third-round picks. And they're players that I did want. Chris White, late first-round guy. Do I take Donovan Mitchell first just because he's going to be a little bit better? Late first also, but I think he's going to be more impactful. We will take him. 73 overall, only normal development. That's Madden 21 for you. More of a slot guy, if anything. It's like a running back with those attributes. What the hell? 6'2", 223. He could be a running back. Very interesting player. Broncos take Bryce McDaniels, not the D tackle I wanted, thankfully, as we take Chris White. 72 overall. This one does have star or better development, though. 83 power moves to go with 88 strength. 71 speed. Not really high block shed. But we beefed up the defensive line a little bit and the offensive line. This is a classic Dave Gettleman draft. So if you've played Madden, you know it's pretty much impossible to trade up to number 1. But this is a player we missed out on. Only normal development. Gave him Michael Strahan's number. I mean, he looks very, very good. Casey Tompkins does have star or better. Only 76 finesse moves is why I didn't take him. He has 89 speed, though. So this is clearly a freak athlete who's trying to, improve technically because his finesse moves is not high. The block shed's not high. Only star dev. I guess I'm not too upset about that. Who had superstar development in this class? Anyone? I mean, as a Giants fan, I'd love to have the number 1 overall and number 2 overall players in the class. Mike Jones is a running back, though. And I guess the Giants don't have Saquon Barkley anymore, so not a bad pick. Jeremiah Rivers. Thought about him. Looked like more of a run stopper than anyone that can actually get after the QB. Nice finesse moves, I guess, but not amazing. I think we did pretty well. But again, not amazing. It really was a stacked draft class. Larson goes up 2 overall when you move him to right guard. So that's what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about Josh Jones. He could also be a really good player in real life. Was great at Houston a year ago. Was very, very good all week in Senior Bowl practices. And, that's going up against some of the top edge rushers in the entire class. That's what happens in the Senior Bowl. So I would say he definitely has a lot of potential. I don't know what's going on with the Hall of Fame bust as a rookie. No shoulders, no arms, no hands. Byron Murphy up to a 85 overall. Did he have normal or dev, though, before? I want to say he's up to star, but he might have had that. That's why my brain just kind of went dead. So I'm like, what are you talking about? So I've moved Cheeks over to left end over Zach Allen, which I feel bad about. I'm a Zach Allen believer. I thought he was really good at Boston College, and he actually has been decent when healthy in the league so far. He's super young. This is only his 2nd year in real life. But that is the team. Has some noticeable big holes. I get that. As I guess Cheeks is not going to come off the edge, man. I mean, I want my D tackles in, rush formations to be Cheeks and White with Reddick and Jones off the edge. So that is a change that needs to be made because I guess Deontay Thompson could be a sub linebacker. Hassan Reddick, I do not want in that role. So this will be the setup. As I've changed schemes, we're going spread and LA Chargers. If you didn't see my 99 overall everything career sim, I probably even uploaded that today as you watch this, if you're watching it on release day. Check it out. I know not everyone sees the career sims. Most of you guys are just here for the rebuilds. But check that out. Spread playbook was decent with Chargers offense, so we're going to give that a shot. It could be really bad. This is how I'm setting up the defense. Chandler Jones is going to stick around. He's 31. He is regressing, but he's still pretty good. So I want to keep Chandler Jones around. I'm hoping he can put up, like, you know, double-digit sacks. Would like that. Be a lot better than 7. So we will simulate to just about the midseason mark. If I need to trade somebody, I'm going to trade somebody. Week 8. Saquon needs a contract extension. I'm not going to trade for him and then not bring him back. Chandler Jones, I would give like a 3-year deal to. Perfect. Christian Kirk, I want back. Chase Edmonds can go. Max Williams can go. Mason Cole, we don't need. Not really a lot of free agents here. Like, Saquon's real expensive, but Saquon's worth it. He wants more money. Relax. Christian Kirk and Chandler Jones are both back. Saquon will be. We don't need to trade anybody, so I guess we'll just simulate to the playoffs. We are 4-3 right now, so it could be a playoff team. I wouldn't hold your breath, though. Did make the playoffs at 10-6. 49ers won the division as Kyler Murray threw for 3,900 yards, only 25 touchdowns, 13 picks. Very odd year. Saquon over 1,100 yards, 6 TDs. Kenyon Drake, 13 touchdowns. Receiving, Christian Kirk over 1,100 yards, 8 TDs. DeAndre Hopkins over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. So those 2 receivers really getting the bulk of the targets for sure. As Isaiah Simmons had a great year. 116 tackles, 5 for loss, 2.5 sacks, and a pick. Love to see that. Chandler Jones, 8 sacks. Hassan Reddick with 7.5, and also an interception. 5.5 for rookie Chris White. Deontay Thompson had 3 somehow. Sub linebacker. 3 for Jeff Cheeks, 3 for Zach Allen, 2.5 for Simmons we talked about. 3 picks for Jalen Thompson led the way, but a handful of interceptions for the rest of the team. As yearly awards, Deshaun Watson wins MVP. No Cardinals in there. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Dak. Kyler Murray at 10. Defense Player of the Year, Alec Ogletree with the Packers. Okay. Sure. Offense Rookie of the Year is Mike Jones. Christian Price. Man, the Giants had a heck of a draft, huh? No offensive guys for the Cardinals. And then for the defense, Jose Bright, the linebacker I refused to draft. And then Amari Hughes at 4, our rookie corner. Jeff Cheeks at 6. Chris White at 9. Packers in the wild card. Can we get past them? Yes, 35-14. Cowboys in the divisional. Can we keep the hot streak? No, lose by a touchdown. And we're headed to offseason number 2. Oh, yeah, Saquon didn't re-sign. Need to improve that bonus, which I'm fine to do. As Saquon is back long-term, and the rest, as I mentioned, can go. Don't really want him. Only 10 million, 11 million in free agency. Baker's in free agency. Why would the Browns not re-sign him? I think that Leighton Vander Esch would be a very good pickup for this team. And it's one I'm going to try to make happen. And we did get Leighton Vander Esch. So that is a really, really big pickup for this team. We needed another middle linebacker on the inside next to Isaiah Simmons. And we got one. And we got a really, really good one as well. Hassan Reddick, Chandler Jones, Budda Baker still has not gone up. Chris White had star development. Not a shock. 87 power moves for him, though. I think a transition to a 4-3 is exactly what this team needs. So Vander Esch is still a good pickup there. Because we're going to have Cheeks and White on the inside. What interesting. There's a joke to be made there. I'm going to leave it. Chandler Jones is going to move down to defensive end. Hassan Reddick, defensive end. And then Simmons and Vander Esch. So we're looking for an outside linebacker. Just any off-the-ball linebacker, really. The Chargers allowed under 300 points. How did they only go 9-7? I guess their offense wasn't too good. That is an unreal season. Great pick by the Jags. A 69 overall right guard. Nice, dude. What a pick. What a pick. Once again, early first-round centers just well down the board. 2 of them. Looks like we found our tackles. Ben Patterson. Oh, stud edge rusher. Hassan Reddick moves back to outside linebacker. Is that the move? Sure could be. Trading number 2 in the draft for number 5 and also picking up number 37. Very, very easy trade down for me. There are decent players up near the top of the draft here. No one unbelievable, in my opinion, as I think I'm taking a receiver at number 5. DeAndre Thierry out of USC. Adding another DeAndre to the team could be kind of nice. Not an amazing athlete, but his top skills are certainly worth looking at. Looks to be very good. We're going to take him. 77 overall, number 4 in the class. See, this is a way better class than the last one. Star better development. Only 89 speed. Not much of a route runner. But in the red zone, he should be a weapon. 90 spectacular catch, 87 catching traffic, 84 catching, 88 jumping. Just go up and get the football. I mean, he's got great size, great ability. Like that pick a lot. So we've taken the highest overall player in the draft right now. So that means there are at least 3 other players at 77 overall or higher. Is one of them going to be a quarterback? No. Interesting. Is one of them going to be a running back? Maybe. Trey Childress could be quite good. Pick at 9 and then not until 26. So I have to make this pick count. Do I go with another receiver? I feel like that's stupid. I mean, I definitely can't take receiver here, right? Definitely can't. Trading number 9 in the draft, Justin Pugh. We don't need him anymore. And a 4th round pick for number 23. So moving back from 9 to 23. And number 55. So I think it's like a really good move for us. Gonna miss out on some decent players. But I think ones that don't really affect our team too much. There goes Sheldon Jackson. 77 overall defensive end. So that's one of the 77s. There goes Taj Atkinson, the other receiver I considered. We definitely got the better of the 2. So there are at least 2 other 77 overall or higher players still on the board. I think Trey Childress certainly could be one of them. But I think one of the other ones is on our draft board for sure. I like Ben Patterson to be one of them. And I think one of the centers could be as well. Probably Nicholas Blatchford. But we are in a tremendous spot right now. With 2 first-round picks. I thought we had... Yeah, we have 3 second-round picks. I misread that for a minute. So if we can add Jared Wiggins, Ben Patterson, J.J. Proctor, and Nicholas Blatchford to the team, I will be ecstatic. Julius McNeil down the board. Mid-first-round tight end. A little slow. But overall, I like him quite a bit. So I think we have a lot of really good players we can add. And let's just start doing it. Jared Wiggins will be my first one. He's a late first-round guy. I do want him on the team, though. So we're going to take him before some other players who are higher overalls. David Paxton is an early first-round guy who I guess I didn't really consider because I was thinking about a middle linebacker, but I just think he's a little bit worse and his overalls inflated because of being an outside linebacker. He's not that slow at 4.6 speed, but I just think that Jared Wiggins is way better, even though he's going to be a lower overall. That's a tough call. I could get both of them. That's an option. I am curious. I'm going to take David Paxton. 75 overall. Number 9 in the class. Took him at 23. 85 speed. Not really a cover guy. Decent power and finesse moves, honestly, when that's not his play style. You know, he's not that bad. But that's not what you want from a first-round pick. Like, he's good. I just think, though, that even though Jared Wiggins is a lower overall, I just think he's a better player. And I will be taking him here. 72 overall. Only normal development. Number 26 in the class. Took him right at that spot. He's got 90 speed, though. 83 tackle. 84 hit power. Black shed is low. I feel like I say block shed oddly sometimes. Like almost sounds like black instead of block. Acceleration is amazing. Coverage is better. I feel like he's a better player. Okay, second round now. I don't want to miss out on these centers, but we can miss out on one of them if it needs to come to that. Not really too worried about it. Hold X to reorder annoys me so much. It's not really too big of a deal now. But, I mean, Stephen Freeman's even pretty good, but I think I'd rather go with the players I have on my draft board. Ben Patterson has to be picked number 1 here. Can't miss out on this guy. Number 8 in the class. Really, that surprises me. Only normal development. 88 speed, though. 78 finesse moves, 90 acceleration, 86 strength. Block shed's a little low. It is nice at 69, but not that high. Are we going to miss out on both centers? That's a good question. I really hope not. I hope we can get at least one of them, but I wasn't really willing to trade up. They're both available. That's spectacular. I'm going to take both of them. J.J. Proctor, 76 overall, number 5 in the class. Star or better development. Excellent addition. He also has 89 strength. He's 6'5", 315. This is a tackle. I think very clearly. Has the strength, doesn't really have the speed, in my opinion, to pull and be an interior offensive lineman. Has the profile of a tackle. Very, very happy with that pick. And it seems like the other center will be available as well. I will have to trade up for the tight end, but Nicholas Blatchford, welcome to the team. 77 overall, number 1 in the class. Only normal development, but clearly, from his attributes, is very, very, very good. 84 run block, 83 pass block. Pretty excellent addition, if you ask me. Now, I will have to trade up for the tight end. And I think that's going to be the last major move that our offense needs to make. Just because he's going to go, like, 4th round, probably. So I'm going to get a 3rd rounder. All right, Lamont Gaillard and a 3rd rounder next year gets me a 3rd rounder in just a few picks. And I'm okay with kind of overdrafting him because he's not going to go for a little while. But I just want to make the trade happen to draft him. Julius McNeil, 74 overall. Only normal development, but 83 speed is better than I thought he would have. 84 catching, 81 catching traffic. Route running's not great. Short route running is nice. Acceleration's quite high. 6'4", 271. Dude's a big boy. Round 5, last pick will be the defensive tackle. Damian Minor out of Texas, 72 overall, normal development. 88 strength, 77 block shed, 71 power moves. Really not too bad. But I really can't picture him being a staple of the team, clearly. Maybe make a minor impact. So stupid. Overall, I think we did pretty well in the draft. Had a lot of high picks. What is that? We'll call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks inside the top 70 picks, something like that. Not going to do it exactly. I'm not a mathematician or anything like that. But we did quite well. I mean, anytime you can get as many players as we did above 75 overall, I think you're doing pretty well. And the end of our draft was good also, including Damian Minor. Some of the guys weren't so good. But we'll see how we compare to the rest of the NFL. DeAndre Thierry technically was the highest overall player in the draft, so we did quite well. We got the number 2 overall player. And then Trey Childress was indeed a 77. Sheldon Jackson, star better development. He has 77 finesse moves. How did I miss this guy? 6'5", 285 speed rusher? I don't even think I ended up looking at him. What happened here that I missed him? I think I probably looked at him, saw that he was 285, and I go, oh, he's a run stopper. Has superstar dev, of course. Of course. All right, well, that's a big miss then. What also could have happened is I just wasn't looking for edge rushers at that point. I had already penciled in, what is his name? Patterson on my draft board. I was going to draft him regardless. Probably just figured we didn't need any more. So I guess Hassan Reddick will stay at right outside linebacker. Chandler Jones does move down, though. Cheeks moves inside. Although I am worried about having Minor and Cheeks on our team. That's a bad combination. So I think we got our offensive line just about white. DJ Humphries should be pretty good, though, at left tackle. A bunch of young players on here. Got some talent. And, of course, Thierry is going to play quite a lot. I might have him as my second receiver. Even playing above Christian Kirk, we're going to try and get him as much opportunity to make a play as possible. As Hassan Reddick, I guess, stays at right outside linebacker. We're rocking a big scheme fit here. I mean, Jalen Thompson at free safety, I'm pretty cool with, to be honest. Defensive line looks pretty good. Listen, it's not amazing, but I think the team is really going in a great direction. So all I need to do now is change where guys line up on our specialists, because Hassan Reddick, I would rather have be a rush end than Isaiah Simmons. Simmons, I want to be a sub linebacker. And then ideally, I think we have Cheeks. They want Patterson to be a rush D tackle, which actually, that would create a lot of opportunity for Hassan Reddick to go play defensive end. So maybe we'll do that. We also do have Jared Wiggins. Not sure what his role is going to be just yet, but we've got a pretty good group of linebackers, extremely deep. And when you combine how deep we are with Cheeks, we're doing okay. Just got to avoid Minor at that point. That's the only thing. We'll leave him on the bench. Mid-season mark. DeAndre Hopkins is frustrated. We're 6-1. Get a smile on that face. Breakout challenge for Isaiah Simmons, though, is he can jump to Superstar X Factor. All right, single-handedly destroy the Bucks, sure. We got to hold them to less than 150 total yards or get Isaiah Simmons 3+ interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for loss / sacks. Yeah, okay. I'm doubtful that that will work. Oh, Thierry. Superstar X-Factor receiver. That's what we like to see. I mean, that is a very good draft pick. And I made a good decision to start him. Sometimes you got to gamble, but #1 overall player in the class, actually with the dev trait, felt like it had to be something good. We're going to give him, let's give him double me. Why not? I have him playing in the slot right now. Let's give him route technician. See if that works out well. DeAndre Hopkins really should not be frustrated. I imagine you are having a pretty good year. 7 touchdowns, 541 yards. You're on pace for over 1,014 touchdowns. Shut up. Proctor only has star. We got Jared Cook. I don't know how that happened. I don't want him there. I want Julius McNeil to be my guy. He's up to a 76 overall. Big jump there. As catching traffic goes up by 3, catching goes up. Offensive line in general is pretty good. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons could jump up to superstar X Factor. That's clearly something we want to happen very much. What type of season is he having? 2.5 sacks, 2 picks, 38 tackles. I mean, hey, it's not bad. It's not bad. You'll take that. Specialist, we're going to move him to sub linebacker 1, but that's not really going to affect his play time too much. He should be on the field most snaps. Offensive line training, DB training. Our secondary is the next thing to get revamped, but our offense is really doing quite well. We'll see if we can beat the Bucks. I imagine that Isaiah Simmons will not go up in development trait. We win 32-28, so they definitely had more than 150 total yards. Yeah, and Isaiah Simmons did not get superstar X Factor, but he could get it at the end of the year. We are 7-1. Kyler Murray is a free agent, as is Byron Murphy. Jared Cook, Jalen Thompson's in here. DJ Humphries. This is a good time, though, because like we can let a lot of these guys go and then extend DJ Humphries long-term at a cheaper rate. Jalen Thompson, super long-term and very cheap. Byron Murphy and Kyler Murray might get a little bit more expensive, but we should have the money. And Murray is back long-term. So that's the first domino to fall. And then Byron Murphy should come as well for less than 10 mil. And he does. I don't like the way I phrase that. Jalen Thompson is very cheap. I mean, we can easily do this. And then DJ Humphries is back as well. Andy Isabella, we just don't really need. We have Kirk. We have Thierry. We have Nuke. We don't really need a whole lot else. Playoff time. I expect to be in the playoffs. We're 7-1. This would be an ultimate collapse. 12-4. Didn't win the division because we're in the wild card. Best offense in the league with Kyler Murray, who threw 21 interceptions. 4,200 yards, 38 touchdowns. Saquon, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. Kenyon Drake was a very capable backup. Receiving, Nuke, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Like, I'm frustrated. Whatever. DeAndre Thierry as a rookie, almost 1,000 yards and 12 TDs. Playing him was certainly a good decision. His deep route running's terrible, but everything else is really, really good. Christian Kirk was fine as the third option. Julius McNeil as a rookie tight end was pretty good, especially considering Jared Cook stole a lot of his time. He was actually exceptional for someone who wasn't even the first option at tight end for a lot of time. Van Der Esch, good year, 3.5 sacks, 2 picks, 4 tackles for loss on 103 tackles. Ben Patterson, the rookie out of Michigan State, what a year, 18 tackles for loss and 10 sacks. Gotta be rookie of the year on the defensive side of the ball. Led our team in sacks, tied with Chandler Jones. 8.5 for Jeff Cheeks, 5.5 for Hassan Reddick. A right outside linebacker, you'd love to see that. Also, he was our rush end, though. 4 sacks for Simmons, who also had 5 interceptions, 3.5 sacks for Van Der Esch. Chris White, 3. Zach Allen, 3. And Simmons led our team in picks with 5. 2 for LVE, Jalen Thompson, and Byron Murphy. What a year from both our offense and defenses. Kyler Murray wins MVP. Oh, that's phenomenal. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Zeke, though. Kyler Murray down there at 5. Nick Foles, 70 overall. Up there at number 3 for that. No Saquon. But, actually, no, it's Kyler Murray at 5. Never mind. Defensive Player of the Year is Roquan Smith. Isaiah Simmons at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Michael Elias. DeAndre Thierry at 2. Didn't win it. Julius McNeil at 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year, as if it could have been anybody else. Ben Patterson. He had a great year. He might even be in the running for best D-line as Nick Foles beats out Kyler Murray for best quarterback. Saquon's not even in there. Best receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Thierry at 2. We have DeAndre and DeAndre, who are just unbelievable. And, of course, the god that is Darnell Mooney. I'm not surprised. Best D-line, I was really hoping that'd be Ben Patterson. He might go up in development trait anyway. Best linebackers, hoping for Isaiah Simmons. Best DB, really wouldn't have had anyone in there. But, wow, what a great year from our team. We just came out here ready to play, and we proved that we can dominate. And I assume we're going to beat the Bucs here, beat them earlier in the year. And you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me, and we lose by 2. We're going home early. What a devastating loss. I don't want Andy Isabella or Deontay Thompson or Zach Allen. I mean, kind of Zach Allen, but he's going to be too expensive. We can't afford him either way, so never mind. Good thing we don't really need anyone because we can't afford anyone. Can't afford anyone in free agency, so it's not even worth looking at here. Negative 210K, so we're very, very barely over. It's just DeAndre Hopkins is getting paid so much. Kyler Murray now getting paid so much. Chandler Jones getting paid so much. He's regressing. Probably a good time to trade him. Hassan Reddick is expensive, but I feel like he's only an 82 overall at 28. So now is going to be a pretty good time to trade Chandler Jones. I think it has to happen. Just for the betterment of our franchise, we need to address edge in the draft. We pick at number 24 as our first pick, so pretty far down the board in the first round. Bills picking first overall. You look at our offense as a whole, like DeAndre Thierry is going to be our second receiver without question. DeAndre Hopkins, however, is regressing. He's 31 years old. He is down a little bit, even after winning receiver of the year. Love that. But I would say overall, like Kenyon Drake could find his way off the team as well. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons did get superstar X Factor. So that is great. He's going to be amazing. What is this? Bogo? No. Patterson went up to star dev. That's great to see. He's going to get 85 finesse moves with this upgrade. Maybe even higher. Give me a +2. Hey, there you go. +2. Cheeks is up into the 80s. Love to see that. Hughes is going slow and steady. But overall, this team looks quite good. I think Hassan Reddick could very easily go. Wiggins could play outside linebacker. We could also look to draft another a backer, but I need an edge rusher more than anything. Reddick could slide down in that instance if Chandler Jones gets traded. But I think Chandler Jones is going to help us move up in the draft. If there's a great edge rusher, I am moving up, and I'm moving up a lot. Ray Lewis, inside linebacker, I got to make a move up. Gotta. That's just too good of a storyline. The next Ray Lewis is literally Ray Lewis. I'm sure this guy would kill it for us. So we're going to take a stab at it, probably draft him. And if he can replace Hassan Reddick, outside linebacker, and Chandler Jones can get traded, that's 2 for the price of 1. That's a no-brainer. Okay, it's a ridiculous class of linebackers. Ray Lewis is clearly amazing. Reggie Moon. Yo, can I just get every linebacker in here? Jamison Flynn, early first round. A little slow. But these linebackers look so sick. Given the class of linebackers, I think it's foolish to trade up for Ray Lewis. Thankfully, I was able to get a lot of jokes out of the way. There he goes to the Texans, 76 overall. If you think I'm trading up to number 3 overall to take an inside linebacker, you are mistaken. Also, both these guys, Reggie Moon and Jamison Flynn, went to Clemson. So I can only imagine the linebacking core they had. Because that is very, very good. So this is about where I'd start to consider a trade up. Those linebackers are just not going. Okay, Chandler Jones, a future 3 and a current 2, gets us number 13 overall, and Connor McGovern. McGovern, I guess, will repackage. That had to happen for cap purposes, but he actually could have some trade value given his age. Trading Paxton, who's a linebacker we drafted last year, who ended up being unexceptional. Trading a 4th and a 4th next year for number 19. So we have worked our way up quite a bit in the draft to take some players that we definitely want to get. And I think with this pick, you're looking at the middle linebackers, and those seem like pretty obvious picks. Reggie Moon, I think, looks the best, even though he's a lower overall, just because he is a lot faster. Jamison Flynn does look unbelievable, though. He's a super high overall. Trent Sheed looks pretty good at Alabama. I'm going Paul Morant. We have to replace Chandler Jones. I don't know why I was blanking. But we have to replace Chandler Jones. We're getting a 21-year-old edge rusher here, and he is a 77 overall, star or better development. Only 21 years old out of Ohio State. Paul Morant, maybe he knows Ja. 78 tackle, 85 speed, 80 finesse moves. Very, very good player. Is a number 2 overall player in the class, though. So there is a 78 or maybe even a 77 out here just lurking. There goes Flynn, 76 overall. There goes Reggie Moon, 74. Joe Warwick is a 76, and here we are after the Jets, who take Myles Grant, a tight end. So we still can get a middle linebacker if we want. And he is going to be a pretty good one. Will Kendrick Nolan be available? I think I got to take him now and say it's a bigger need than middle linebacker. Kendrick Nolan's ranked number 7, took him at 19. Only normal development, but we needed a third corner, and he actually does look like he could fit the slot profile really, really well. He's a slot archetype. Good man, good zone, good press. There you go. Kendrick Nolan. There goes that middle linebacker, 75 overall. Would have been a very nice addition to our team, but I don't think we need him that badly at this exact moment in time. As we go back to the draft board, there is a really good defensive tackle here. He's a speed rusher type, and we know he's going to be pretty good as a run stuffer as well with his bench press, with his pursuit. He's very fast. So even though D-tackle isn't a huge need, it's tough to pass on that type of talent, in my opinion. We could consider a safety. Nathan Battle looks very, very good. Is he more important than another D-tackle? I think so. Nathan Battle, 74 overall, normal development. 90 speed, 76 zone, 76 hit power. I think worst case scenario, he's an outside linebacker. Block shed's real bad. I think he's just going to be a backup for right now. And that's going to do it for the draft. Juan Lindsley was the highest overall. Went at number 9. 77 overall, but we definitely got the best player in the draft then. Jamison Flynn, normal dev. Highest overall middle linebacker. Ray Lewis, 76 overall. He does have star or better. Man, he's about to go murder some guys at middle linebacker over the middle. He's only got star dev, though. And then Trent Sheed only has normal. Looks very good, but only normal dev. I'm not too stressed about it. Reggie Moon does have star or better. He also looks great. And I was really leaning towards drafting him over the other guys just because of his athletic profile. And he only has star. So we did get Darren Barrington, who, despite having no speed, is actually a pretty good player. I had him on my draft board. Did I draft him, or did he go way later? Yeah, 5th round. So when you have guys on your draft board, the CPU will draft them if they're still available, which is actually a pretty cool feature. But Morant is a 77 overall right end. So I like to see that. He and Patterson should be a very nice tandem. As Wiggins going to play middle linebacker for now. Could move him over right outside, but I'm going to keep Hassan Reddick there for the time being. And then as far as specialists, Isaiah Simmons, do not be my right rush end. Stop. We're going to keep Patterson at rush D tackle. I think, man, should I trade Kenyon Drake? I want Saquon to just dominate. And Kenyon Drake is playing a little bit too much. But I'm going to keep things as they are. Simulate to the midseason mark. Our team is even better than a year ago. Of course, like, it's tough to lose Chandler Jones, but he was regressing pretty heavily. He was down to an 86 overall. Probably would go down to like an 81, 82 at the end of this season. So I am perfectly fine with trading him. We are 6-2. Bears beat us, though, in week 8. Isaiah Simmons, as well as DeAndre Hopkins, I'm sure, is going to be in here. Is he not? So Isaiah Simmons is our only big free agent to bring back. I do have to pay him as an outside linebacker, but he actually is not too expensive. As he is back. Welcome back, Isaiah Simmons. Ooh, throw power goes up and throw accuracy mid. I was trying to get throw accuracy medium, which we got, so that's great. Up into the 90s. This team is quite good. I don't want Kirk playing over Thierry. Did they reorder stuff for me? I'll be furious. No, they didn't. Morant has superstar dev, though. So that is awesome to see. Block shedding is so low, but I just want to get finesse moves up as high as we can. He's up into the 80s now. Love to see that. Playoff time, we are 11-5, but still in the wild card. Won the division. 6th best offense. And Kyler Murray, pretty good year. 3,700 yards, 30 TDs, only 11 picks. Rushing. Saquon, amazing year. Almost 1,500 yards, averaging nearly 6 yards per carry and 11 touchdowns. Receiving. No 1,000-yard receivers. That's pretty disappointing. But Both DeAndres had very similar numbers, both just under 950 yards on just over 60 catches, and both had 8 touchdowns. Julius McNeil, the tight end, with a pretty good year. Christian Kirk, as well as a third option, had the most catches on our team. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, what a year. That's got to be Defensive Player of the Year. 122 tackles, 8 for loss, 3 sacks, 3 picks. Hassan Reddick had 11 tackles for loss, also led the team in sacks, probably with 10.5. He did. 8.5 for Ben Patterson, 7 for Cheeks. Morant only had 3.5. So that sucks. Hate to see that. Interceptions, 4 for Byron Murphy, led the team. Of course, Simmons with 3. LVE and Budda Baker both had 2. Yearly awards, Deshaun Watson wins MVP again, which we never really see. So I'm shocked that it's happening so much. Usually it's this guy, Cam Newton, on any team that he plays for. And Kyler Murray at 9. Defensive Player of the Year is Devin White. Isaiah Simmons misses out by 1 spot. LVE at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Elton Knight. No cards. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Kendrick Nolan, corner. Paul Morant at 3, despite really not being very productive at all, as this team is primed for another good playoff run. But we haven't seen one yet. Got to beat the Falcons, and we don't. This Redbird team is worse than their Redbird team. So we're headed to another offseason after another year of disappointment. So we don't need any of these guys, honestly. I'm not sure what our money's going to look like. Should be a lot better now that Chandler Jones is no longer here. So we might have a little bit of flexibility. 14 mil. How is that going to work? So who expires? Budda Baker, DeAndre Hopkins, Thierry in 2025. I don't really want to make any moves right now because if we do 2 more seasons, I want some of these players that are still on our team to still be on our team. Although Jedrick Wills is kind of tough to turn down, especially with DJ Humphries regressing. So maybe it's a Jedrick Wills contract and a DJ Humphries trade. We don't quite have the money for this. Well, we have the #1 overall offer on him right now. That's kind of all I can do. It's just barely, so he might reject, but it's okay. He does reject. But that's all right, because we still have DJ Humphries. Now we just don't have to trade him. We keep him. And use that money to re-sign guys that we need to re-sign next year. Picking number 23 overall. What do we need in the draft? Defensively, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Dev trait upgrades. Well, Thierry's going to play over Kirk. We know that. Nothing on offense. And then defensively, Hassan Reddick goes up to superstar. Something I really didn't expect. Well, okay. He's not regressing right now. Cornerbacks are really not bad. I mean, this is best player available. We're actually in a really good spot. We could transition to a 3-4 where Reddick would come off the edge, maybe. I think he would. And then Morant off the edge as well. Patterson rush D tackle. Cheeks rush D tackle. What does White even do? What does he do? 91 power moves. Nah, we're going to keep things as they are. Just simulate to my pick and hopefully a stud falls to us. Only thing we can hope for. A good running back, early first-round guy. Something to consider because, let's be honest, Kenyon Drake's on his way out. Man, turns out everyone is not good. Like, no one's good here except for the running back. So, Justin Willis, it is 76 overall, number 6 in the class. Star better development. Bye-bye, Kenyon Drake. Round 2, will anyone even decent be here? Seems like no, unless we go offensive line. But I don't need or want to do that. So what do we need the most? I'm probably going to go cornerback and hope to hit on a star or better development trait guy. And that's going to be Jose McIntosh for me. 71 overall, normal dev, number 29 in the class. Not really much of a cover guy. But, hey, we gave it a shot. 2024, we know the team is fantastic. We just haven't been able to finish when it matters most. Kenyon Drake can be our fullback. We'll get Willis in there as our second running back. Thierry's going to play over Christian Kirk. And then I think the offense is going to get changed up. We've been a good team. We haven't been a great team. It's time to take the next step. It's time to take the next step. This is the offense. I mean, you've seen it. Defensively, I think we're in a pretty good spot. although not amazing. And this is how I've decided to set things up. Reddick and Morant off the edge. Patterson and Cheeks up the middle. Simmons, Van Der Esch, sub linebacker. Byron Murphy stays in the nickel. And then Thierry will be my slot receiver. Barkley at both spots. I want to get Willis in there more than Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake should be traded. Is he in the final year of his deal? He's going to be, right? No, 2 left. He's regressing, though. We'll just keep him. Whatever. Mid-season mark. We are 6-1 again. 49ers, Seahawks, hot on our tails. Buda Baker is going to be a free agent. Let's upgrade some players here. Byron Murphy up to a 93 overall. Love to see that. But Buda Baker, who else? We talked about this already. DeAndre Hopkins, Rick Larson, Jeff Cheeks, Walter Henson, Amari Hughes, Chris White, even Donovan Mitchell. So that entire first draft class, of course, as well as some really, really big, impactful, influential players on our team. We do have the money to bring these guys back. Buda Baker is not cheap, but he's also a 98 overall. He returns. Hopkins should be way more expensive than even he was. 4-year deal. Up the money a little bit to make him sign, and he does. So those were the 2 big ones. We're fine at this point. Like, Rick Larson's going to sign long-term. I don't think that's a surprise at all. Jeff Cheeks, he's been more than a solid starting D-tackle. He's going to sign long-term. I think that makes a lot of sense. Walter Henson, another starting interior offensive lineman for us. Need to bring him back long-term, and he is back. Amari Hughes, got to bring him back. He's been a starting corner. Probably not a great guy, as he chooses not to re-sign, just because his zone coverage is so bad. But he's been solid. Chris White, next D-tackle. He's played well. He will get another contract as well. So, 6-1. We are simulating to the playoffs. It's a great team. It's going to be a playoff team. We just need to win in the playoffs where it matters most. We've done well in the regular season. We've done well to make the playoffs. We just haven't been able to be competitive in the playoffs. It's first-round exits nearly every time. I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals, as we were in the wild card, 11-5, won the division barely. Kyler Murray throws for 25 touchdowns. Under 4,000 yards rushing. Saquon was very good. Justin Willis as a rookie played pretty well. And then receiving, DeAndre Thierry really, showed he's the best DeAndre at this point. 13 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. He is up to a 93 overall with morale. Deep route running is so bad. Julius McNeil played pretty well. Christian Kirk, okay. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 102 tackles, 4 for loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 picks. Leighton Vander Esch played very similarly to Isaiah Simmons, like almost identical stat lines. And then Byron Murphy had a very similar stat line as well. Somehow managed to have more tackles for loss than Simmons and Vander Esch, which is not what you love to see from your corner versus your linebackers. But Ben Patterson, 12 tackles for loss, 10 for Reddick, sacks. Not getting a ton of pressure, but 7.5 sacks for Paul Morant, 7 for Ben Patterson, 6.5 for Hassan Reddick, 4.5 Jeff Cheeks. As a team, we're getting decent pressure, just not really from any individual. And good interception numbers as well. I feel like our defense was one of the better ones in the league. I feel like it had to have been 4th best defense in terms of yards. Where were we for interceptions? Had 32 sacks, but 16 interceptions. Was near the top of the league, tied for 2nd. So you will take that yearly awards. Dom Byers of the Giants wins MVP. Our offense was unimpressive. Daniel Jones now with the Patriots. He also wins Offensive Player of the Year. Murray at 7. Defensive Player of the Year, Roquan Smith. No Cardinals. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Darren Hayes. Justin Willis at 2. Wonder what his dev trade is. We should be able to see it. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is Addison Hall. No Cardinal. Actually, Jose McIntosh. I spoke too soon. Hey, Willis. Superstar dev for the rookie running back. Solid backup for sure. And then defensively, no upgrades because it's not time for that yet. But Patterson's going to be up to an 86 overall with, I would say, probably, 95 finesse moves, something in that neighborhood. 92. A little bit lower than I thought, but we got to beat the Cowboys, man. We've done too well in the regular season to just keep getting eliminated first round. And it happened again. It happened again. Come on. Amari Hughes wants a bigger salary. He's not expensive, though. We might be able to go out and sign a decent free agent. Like, maybe. That might be wishful thinking. But it depends who's there. $3 million, we can't. All we can do really is grab a punter. Aaron Donald is here. But let's get Let's get Wyatt Anthony. Gonna pick up all my fifth-year options to save some time here. There should be a few of them, including DeAndre Thierry. So I will see you guys for the draft after I do this. It was really only Thierry and then Jared Wiggins. And, oh, we don't need Jared Wiggins. I thought we might, but we don't. Familiar spot for us picking at 24 overall. It's a first-round exit nearly every time, as our receiving core is excellent. I mean, our running backs are great. Our quarterback's great. Our offensive line is very, very good. And then defensively, I mean, we're really good as well. I just think it's time to move to a 3-4, just because we know it's going to be pretty successful. Morant, outside linebacker. Hassan Reddick can still play outside linebacker. We'll find guys to play on the inside. I think Ben Patterson's going to stay. Maybe not. Maybe we will move him to outside backer. I'm not sure. But, I mean, our team is quite good. We just got to move to a defense that's going to help us out more. And our offense could change as well. I mean, Tennessee is usually great. It was pretty bad that time around. Well, Ricky Ogletree ran 4.24. So, I'm tempted to draft him. We don't need him. We don't need him. But anytime you see someone that could have 99 speed, it becomes very tempting. So Trevor Parrish is one of my top guys here at Oregon State. But Manny Spikes is also very, very good. As is Ty Redmond. Not quite as good as the other two, but still very good. The question is, will Trevor Parrish go number 1 overall? Because I cannot trade up to number 1. I might try and move up to 2, but he goes at number 1 overall. 77 overall. And there goes a 78 overall QB. I think I'm going to try and trade with the Rams here. Maybe I'll wait a pick and try and move with the Colts, because I do want Spikes. There goes Deshaun Drummond, 78 overall corner. Let's make a move with the Colts, though. Trading Barrington, 78 overall, star dev player. Kenyon Drake in a 4th to move up to number 4. I think this is worth it. I'm probably not done trading up. This is one of our final years. Got to go out with a bang. I want Demir Joseph as well, but Manny Spikes is my pick. Really, really good player. Going to start right away. 77 overall. Number 7 in the class at 77 overall. My lord, 84 speed, 80 finesse moves. I'm not mad about that. Normal development does kind of suck, but he is a very good player. All right, Nathan Battle, 76 overall, free safety. We drafted him a year or two ago. 2nd round pick next year, 3rd round pick this year, moves us up to number 5, and I am taking that corner. I would probably end up moving another cornerback if Demir Joseph is as good as he looks, and I think he's going to be. He looks pretty unbelievable. There's Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter. My goodness. The names that we're seeing at middle linebacker so far in this rebuild makes you want to say crikey. Am I right? Demir Joseph, 77 overall. Number 8 in the class at 77. Star better development. 92 speed, 78 man. Wow. He is a beast. What is this draft class, dude? Everyone's ridiculously high overall. Trading Nolan and Minor for number 15 overall in the draft. We're just kind of moving around, man. We're having a good time in the final year. Got to get a little bit crazy sometimes. And Ricky Ogletree is my pick here. Just because we have a chance to draft a 99 speed player, I'm going to take the shot. 78 overall, number 4 in the class. This draft class is stacked. He's got 97 speed. 69 short route running. Nice. But medium and deep route running are pretty good. He's a very, very, very good player, and I'd be ecstatic about this in pretty much any other situation. But we have Christian Kirk. We just really didn't need him, but I think it's a very fun pick. DeMarcus Waddle out of Bama. We know Waddle out of Bama. He's a beast, and so is this one. Star better development, 78 overall. Number 5 in the class. Took him in 24. What is this draft class? This might be the best draft class I've seen in Madden. We're going to let the CPU handle the rest of it. I need to see this draft recap. I mean, I know we had high picks, but we drafted 4 players at 77 overall or above. Grant Lloyd I had on my draft board, and he has star better development. I need to see this class because it looked amazing. There's an 80 overall. Ramon Seymour. I chose the other running back instead of him, I believe. And it was really only for the joke. And I'll do it again. I would do it again. But this is a very, very, very strong draft class, to say the least. Parrish had star better. But we got Manny Spikes, who, he's doing his best out there. It's hard to look at Grant Lloyd at outside linebacker and not think of Greg Lloyd, the outside linebacker for the Steelers back in the 90s. Joseph, I want to start just because he has star better development. We know the team's great at this point. It's not really about that. It's about, seeing what we can do and just getting fun players out there. And I think we're going to be able to do that. Specialist, Isaiah Simmons finally is a sub linebacker now that he's on the inside. Patterson, do I really want him to be a rush end? Cheeks and White up the middle is not great. So Patterson will be a rush D tackle. Reddick still a rush end. We'll have Joseph in the nickel as a rookie. Christian Kirk will not be in the slot. We have a great group of running backs. This is a very, very, very good team. Final year, we haven't done anything with this team. That's the worst part about it. We haven't done anything. But maybe this is the year that changes. 7-1 at the midseason mark. Yeah, we're playing pretty well. Christian Kirk's going to go up near a 90. He'll probably be a 90 before the end of the year. Kyler Murray is a very, very high overall. I think 98 after that upgrade. And then Manny Spikes is on the verge of a breakthrough. Well, yeah, go for it, man. All you need is a sack, a tackle for loss, the Giants to get less than 100 rushing yards. All of those things, in my opinion, are quite possible. We're not going to know the running back's depth trait. He just wouldn't have played enough, and he didn't. And then defensively, I don't think we had any better than star depth trait. Oh, yeah, we had Joseph, who's only at star. So that kind of stinks. Please destroy the Giants. They scored 20. We lost? He may have got star dev anyway. He certainly did not. Okay, well, you didn't get anything? Really? Not a tackle for loss even? Disappointing. We'll simulate to the playoffs. We're 7-2. We're in really good shape to make them. We'll probably get first rounded again because that's just what happens to us apparently. But here we are, playoff time. 11-5. Snuck into the playoffs. Not a great second half of the year. Third best offense. Kyler Murray, what a year. Could be MVP. 4,400 yards, or just about. 38 TD, 7 picks. Rushing. Saquon was awesome. We haven't even really talked about him that much this rebuild, but he's just been slow and steady and amazing. Maybe not slow, with 13 touchdowns and nearly 1,300 yards. Justin Willis was okay for a backup. Again, he'd be perfect to take over for Saquon if we needed him to. Waddle had a rough year. Only played in 55 snaps. Receiving, DeAndre Hopkins, 1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns. You'll never guess who I had play the slot this year. All right, you guessed it. It was DeAndre Hopkins. So he put up crazy numbers. He was unreal, as was Julius McNeil. DeAndre Thierry was pretty good as well. Christian Kirk played well. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 112 tackles, 5 for loss, 3 sacks, 3 picks. Love that for him. And oh my goodness, did we get pressure. Hassan Reddick, 11.5 sacks. Didn't even come close to leading the team. Ben Patterson, 16.5. 12.5 from Jeff Cheeks. 9 from Paul Morant. LVE, 4.5. Manny Spikes, 4.5. He was kind of a non-factor. Simmons, 3. Grant Lloyd with 2. Interceptions, 3 for Simmons, 3 for Demir Joseph as a rookie. We're winning something out here. Elliott wins MVP. What type of year did he have to win MVP over Kyler Murray? I need to see that. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Zeke. Kyler Murray at 2. Defensive Player of the Year, Deion Jones. Simmons at 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Nick Stevenson. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Demir Joseph. Manny Spikes at 5. Grant Lloyd at 7. Cameron Dale at 9. Best quarterback is Murray. Best running back had to be Zeke. Best receiver has to be DeAndre Hopkins, and it is. Nobody else in there. Best O-line? No. Zach Martin's on the Niners now. Didn't win Best DL with Ben Patterson. Best linebacker. Didn't go to... Hassan Reddick is above Isaiah Simmons. Shocking. And then Nick Needham wins Best DB. I need to see the year that Ezekiel Elliott had. 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards per carry. Yeah, it's a decent year. I'll give it to him. We got to beat the Seahawks. They went 7-9, man. I'm not jumping in the wild card. We lose again. Oh, my God. How did this team lose and lose and lose in the playoffs? Wow. That was so bad. This team was amazing. Waddle only had star. McNeil got up to star if he didn't have it already. But yeah, this team was amazing. Defensively, did anyone end up going up in development trait? Lloyd only had star. Joseph didn't. I don't know, man. I feel like that's a pretty unfortunate end to the video, but we never could be successful in the playoffs, and that happens all the time. But this team was a great team. 94 overall, 95 offense, 93 defense. One of the better teams we built, and they just didn't win. And that's all you can say. That's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Sorry for not being successful, but we hit 2025. We're done here. Team has clearly been rebuilt, and maybe they'd be set up for playoff success down the line, but probably more first-round exits. Appreciate you watching, subscribing. Almost knocked paper towels off my desk, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, Ben Bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.